Hey YouTube, Satoshi Matrix here yet again bringing you another video. On this edition of the Adapter Factor, I wanted to talk about a unique adapter that I picked up from Mayflash. Now, the PlayStation 2 is an undisputed champion of last generation. The games that came out for the PlayStation 2 vastly outnumber from anything from either the GameCube or the Xbox or the Dreamcast, and from a system that came out in 2000 and there's roughly still being sports games made for it, that system has a pretty impressive lifespan and a pretty impressive game library. But the thing about the PlayStation 2 is I've never really been all that fond of the DuelShock 2. Now, it's not a bad controller in the least. This controller is a really good controller. But my big problem with the PlayStation 2 is its D-pad. I don't like how the buttons are broken up on the PlayStation 1, 2, and 3. It all has the same D-pad. I've never liked that, and I don't really like the button placement of the analog sticks. I prefer the analog stick here and the D-pad here like the Xbox used. So, for me, the PlayStation 2 controller has never really been the ideal controller to play PlayStation 2 games with. Fortunately, there is an alternative. Instead of using a PlayStation 2 controller, Mayflash made this little adapter that has a PlayStation 2 connector port, plugs into the PlayStation 2 itself, and on the other end is a Microsoft Xbox controller port. Now, this controller port will allow you to use original Xbox controllers on the PlayStation 2. And there were quite a number of Xbox controllers that are really quite good, but the best and obvious replacement for the PlayStation 2 DualShock is Microsoft Controller S. Now, this controller has the things that I like about it. It has the D-pad, that's sort of one thing, and as opposed to broken up. It's where I want it. It has the analog sticks where I want it. It has all the buttons that the PlayStation 2 controller has. And it just works really well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this adapter and show you it in action. The button on the controller says analog on that, and that does exactly what you'd think it would do. It's the analog button on the PlayStation 2 controller. Press it and it turns it from a digital controller to an analog controller. So you can play PlayStation 2 games using the analog sticks or the D-pad depending on your choice. So there you go, a nice clear view of that. So there's the adapter again. Okay, so let's go and take this and plug it in to the PlayStation 2. So I'm going to put the camera down while I do this. So it just gets plugged in, and you take the other end, the Xbox controller, and you plug it into the adapter. Now, since I already have my PS2 on, I just need to turn on the TV. And the game that we're going to be demoing, as the screen boots up, is Soul Calibur 3. So here's Soul Calibur 3, a PlayStation 2 exclusive with a Microsoft Xbox controller. So I'm going to move. D-pad works as well. The face buttons. You can see. The shoulder buttons. And the black and white buttons. So yeah, that's showing Soul Calibur 2 in action. So I'm gonna turn it off. Soul Calibur 3, I should say. Put that down. And let's demo something else. How about Katamari Damacy? We'll run this using an Xbox controller. I apologize for the lighting. Trying to do this best I can. Again, the Xbox controller. So here I am moving around. Let's take things to Earth. Play Katamari. Well, even though I'm not the best Katamari player in the world, you get the idea. It's Katamari Damacy using a Microsoft Xbox controller. So, here's Katamari. So, I think I'm going to show you guys one more game. Pull out Katamari. Put it back in its case. Last game I'm going to show you guys will be, how about Mega Man Legends 2, PlayStation 1 game. So, pull out the disc. Mega Man Legends 2. Put it into the PS3, or PS2 I should say. Mega Man Legends 2 Xbox controlled. So let's just go to new game.
You know how to use your fire extinguisher, right? Okay then, good luck. Just in case. Mission start!
again, you move around with the analog or the D-pad. You can look around with the right analog stick. So yeah, that just gives you an idea. So going back to the adapter itself, the only thing I don't like really about this is that it maps the L1 and R1 buttons to the black and white buttons, meaning the shoulder buttons on the back are R2, or L2 and R2. There's many PS2 games that map important functions in the reverse order. So yeah, you move around, like I'm rotating the camera by holding down the black and white buttons, which is not very ideal. But the face buttons work. Everything else is pretty much like what you'd expect. So yeah, the Mayflash adapter, it works really well. I recommend you guys buy one because Mayflash no longer sells them on their site, so if you need to find one, you can find one on PlayAsia and a few other places. But for the most part, these kind of things aren't for sold anymore. So yeah, that's even though I just failed because I wasn't paying attention, that just shows I'm using an Xbox controller to play PlayStation 2 games, and it works really quite well. So if you guys are interested, these are about $14–15 or so plus shipping, so you know, about $20 total, and I give them thumbs up. So yeah, thanks for watching.
Preparing to penetrate the cloud of mystery surrounding Forbidden Island. Following the attack hours ago, we were all asked to disembark and return to our ships, where we stand watching Von Blooper embark on his greatest adventure, and what may be humanity's greatest adventure. Will he succeed in reaching Forbidden Island? We'll continue with live updates throughout